Hey guys, it's Mark from Migraine Professional. In this video, we're going to be talking about how your gut ruins your hormones. Now, this is just a piece of a much larger, much longer presentation that you can find in the first link in the description on hormones and your gut and migraines. And so what we want to understand is that your body is very, very focused around your gut. Many of your hormones are made in the gut. All of your nutrients that your body needs to create hormones come from the gut, and your body is really, the majority of its immune system is in the gut, so it's constantly policing this area. It's constantly maintaining the balance between the bacteria in the gut that it has to keep in the gut and police them, and the nutrients that are in the gut that it has to take and it has to pull them through the gut wall, out of the gut and into the body so that it can use them and it can repair properly. And if that doesn't happen, if that balance isn't there, we start to suffer. And our hormones are one of the first places that suffer. So our gut goes through a very predictable breakdown, right? So first, there is some kind of destruction that happens to the gut. Something starts to destroy the gut lining, gut function. Now, this could be a food sensitivity or a food intolerance, right? If we are constantly eating aggravating foods that are creating inflammation, this can be destroy the gut's ability to repair itself. If we are eating foods that we have an immune reaction to, we can actually start to have immune bodies attacking inside of the gut and destroying the gut lining because they are releasing inflammatory cytokines inside of the gut, creating lots of damage, destroying that gut lining, preventing it from shedding and repairing and keeping those villi which absorb nutrients strong. Now the villi are like, on the inside of our wall, we have almost like a shag carpet. And each of these shags is called a villi. They're like finger-like projections. And on each of these villi, we have a smaller shag carpet with microvilli, right? So this is just to increase the surface area so that our body can absorb as many nutrients as possible. And so if we catch some kind of pathogen or a bacterial overgrowth, these can actually start damaging the villi. It can start to, any bacteria or pathogens, they're constantly eating and creating waste. This can damage the villi. And pathogens, parasites, they can all create tons and tons of damage and inflammation inside of the gut and destroy the ability of the gut to break down food and to function properly. This also happens with stresses. Stresses are detrimental both to our brains and to our guts because stress pulls nutrients away from the gut because our body knows that if there's a stressor going on, then it has to be able to deal with that stressor. It has to be able to fight it. It has to be able to think its way out. So it will pull nutrients away from the gut to its extremities, to its brain so that it can think, so that it can get out of it. But if this is happening all the time, this is detrimental to the gut's proper function, to the gut's repair. Another simple way of seeing it is that in traumatic brain injuries, injuries where the brain is damaged, it's been shown in studies that within minutes of a traumatic brain injury, the gut will start breaking down. The gut's lining will start breaking down. This shows the massive communication between the brain and the gut because they are connected and they function together and they depend on each other. And so when something happens to one, it happens to the other. So you might not get any symptoms in the destruction phase. There may be absolutely no symptoms. You might have some. You might have some indigestion or bloating or cramping or diarrhea or constipation or acid reflux or some food sensitivities. There may be symptoms, but there doesn't have to be any symptomatology at all in the destruction phase. Your gut could be breaking down. This is why it's so important to test, figure out what's going on. Then, as that destruction goes on over months or years or decades even for some people, after those villi have become sufficiently numbed down, as the body has become sufficiently filled with waste from the bacteria taking over, as the body has lost its nutrient supplies and its ability to repair properly, we enter into a place of lack. So the body lacks nutrients, it lacks resources, it lacks energy, it lacks digestive capacity. Because a lot of digestion goes on in the intestine from those villi and the enzymes they secrete, and then the bacteria that help break that down. So if there isn't a balance, then you're not getting nutrients, you're not repairing, the gut's breaking down, you're not getting the base nutrients that you need for your hormones to function properly. You will not have the fatty acids and the cholesterol that many of your stress and sex hormones are made of. And so then you enter into a place where everything is slowly just starting to break down and get worse and worse and worse. And often just eating healthier foods is not enough because there's been so much damage that gut needs repair. Whatever is causing that damage in the gut, then it needs to be fixed. But then it gets to a point where your body, with sufficient damage, your body starts to say no, because it will always choose stress before sex, okay? Your body will always choose creating stress hormones before sex hormones. So as that lack gets bigger and bigger, as you have less and less resources to create hormones, remember your sex hormones, your stress hormones and your sex hormones are made of the same base nutrients. As you have less and less of those available, your body will divert all of its nutrients to stress because it knows, or it thinks, that there is something going on. Something is stressing the body. It has to fight. It has to maintain its immune system. It has to be able to function properly. And this is not a time for you to procreate. So it will take away from your body's ability to have sex, to regulate your sex hormones. Your menstrual system, your hormonal system will start to break down, right? Your sex hormones are the ones that make you feel good, the ones that make you want to get out, the ones that want to make you work out, engage with your family, engage with your work, really get stuff done. But if those aren't there, it's a good sign that your stress hormones are really being pushed. Your body is smart. It knows if there is war or famine going on, it's not a good idea to bring a child into the world. But it cannot differentiate between war or famine and a pathogen infection, a GI infection, or massive amounts of relationship stress, right? So it will start diverting to the stress hormones. And as it kind of goes through this, your gut will break down. You won't be able to regulate your hormones. Your immune system will be overrun, and your body will choose stress over sex, creating all kinds of issues, anxieties, depressions, brain fog, cognitive issues, because we need a balance. Sex hormones are what keep us healthy. They're what show health. They're one of the best indicators of health, having proper sex hormone regulation, being able to regulate our menstrual cycles, PMS, all kinds of menstrual symptoms, headaches and migraines around ovulation or premenstrually or menstrually. Those are big signs that our hormones are not functioning properly. So if you want to see the full talk where I really get into this, I dive into what's going on and how you can go about correcting your hormones and so that they can support your brain, support your gut, click the first link in the description, and I hope to see you there. Ciao. Hey, it's Mark from migraineprofessional.com. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe in the bottom left corner, and if you want to learn more about migraines and headaches than you've ever known before and understand what causes them, what creates them, and what you can do about them, make sure to go to migraineprofessional.com. Thanks.